Today we are going to start diving into what happens if you are being abducted and thrown into the backseat of a car. Now I understand when it comes to these situations, a lot of different variables can come into place. There could be multiple people, weapons can be involved. If it is another blitz attack, if you're knocked unconscious, if you're drugged, there's a lot of different situations that could happen that would make the situation very difficult to successfully defend yourself. However, today we're going to start something very basic. We're just going to assume it's one person, they've attacked you, they're trying to throw you into the backseat of your car. How do we fight and get out of that situation and get away safely? Let's find out. All right, so before we even get to stuff going on inside the car, understand a couple things. If you want to make sure that you can get out of these situations as easily as possible, you have to make it as difficult as possible for the person that's attacking you to actually physically put you into the back of the car. Now again, we're assuming that weapons aren't in play, they haven't knocked you out, they haven't really struck you too much. At this point, they're literally just trying to overpower you, throw you into the back seat of the car, close the doors, and drive off. So if it comes to the point where they're trying to physically push you in the car, if he's sitting here and he's trying to push me in, I want to make sure that one, I'm latching onto the door, I'm latching onto the side of the car, and I'm doing everything I possibly can to make it as difficult as possible. If he keeps trying to push me in, I want to hold myself out of here as much as possible. Now, understand, again, I can't ever just stand here. As I'm doing this, I also want to make sure that I'm attacking. Notice that my feet should be accessible at all times during this, unless he's picking you up. But if my feet are available, I'm obviously going to start throwing kicks, throwing knees. Once I have the opportunity to start throwing strikes with my hands, I'm going to do that. But during this whole process, I want to make sure that I'm constantly trying to move outside of the car and away from the car as much as possible. So as I'm throwing these kicks, I'm throwing these hits, I'm going to, again, start progressing away, throw him into the car, and once I have that opportunity to escape and run away, I'm just going to start running as fast as possible, and again, get to somewhere safely. Even if this was my car, I'm abandoning it, going to a public area, get help, and do whatever I need to do from there. So let's assume that he has pushed you into the car, not fully all the way. This is kind of just the next step in the process. How do we get out of this situation now? Again, I'm still going to try and hold on to the seat. I wouldn't recommend putting your hand by the door just in case they close the door. Now you're not going to be able to use your hand. So use the seat. If I can grab the door handle, if I can grab the outside of the car, whatever I can grab here, again, I want to make sure I'm constantly trying to pull myself and push myself out of the car and towards my attacker as much as possible, realizing though that at the same time he is trying to push me in. Now, some people would assume, oh, why don't you just run across and open up the other door? Well, let's just assume that either the door's locked, it has a child lock, or if for whatever reason it jams or I can't physically open it that quickly, I'm allowing myself to get deeper into the car, which is what the attacker wants. So I'm essentially helping him out and putting myself in the car for him. That's not something I want to do. So as much as possible, I want to keep working out the direction that I've been put into the car in the first place. So while this is all going on, he's trying to push me in. I want to make sure I'm constantly throwing kicks, never allowing this person to come close. If his head gets real close, I can strike him in the face. And again, I'm constantly working towards exiting the car. I'm never just going to sit here and wait for him and attack and wait and attack. I'm attacking and moving constantly at the same time, always progressing, even if it's just a little by little motion. I want to constantly progress towards the end. If this person starts actually grabbing me and pushing me into the car, I want to make sure it's going to be a little bit hard in this case for me to strike. So I want to make sure that I hold on to this person as tight as possible, because I understand if he starts now trying to back out, he's actually going to be helping me out of the car as well. So the idea is instead of me sitting here and trying to strike, because again, one good kick, if I push him away, he can slam the door closed and now I'm stuck in the car. But if I'm holding on to him as he holds on to me, as he starts going out, I'm going to use that momentum and pull myself out with him at the same time. During all this, obviously, I'm still going to be throwing strikes as much as possible. But that is going to be your best bet if they're still physically holding on to you, is just grab back just as hard, use that energy momentum to get out. Now, if we work ourselves back out of this position to where now I'm starting to get my feet down, again, this is where you now have to kind of become the aggressor. You need to lay everything out all on the line, approach this person, start striking, kicking, kneeing as much and as hard, as fast and as hard as you possibly can. Just constantly strike this person. Use that energy, get out of the car in that situation, and then again, once you have that clear to get away, completely get away. So at the end of the day, when you are getting attacked and someone is trying to throw you in the back of the car, again, the initial step is I want to do as much as I can to make it difficult for this person to put me into the car. Make it hard for them to push you in there. Hold on to what you need to hold on to. And again, we're constantly working ourselves away from the car. If the doors get open and you actually start getting put into the back of the car, again, two options. One, you're constantly kicking and striking if the person's not physically grabbing you yet, but you're still working your way out. If the person is still holding on to you, you're going to hold on to them as tight as possible so that as they start backing away, you are also kind of getting lifted up and towards them at the same time. And you're going to use that energy and motion to also pull you in and out of the car. So use your attacker's energy against them, allow them to essentially pull you out. It makes it a lot easier than you having to fight your way out. But again, once you start actually getting back out of the car, you have to strike hard, strike fast, and it has to be a constant motion of getting away from the car and away from your attacker as much as possible. Once you have that green light and you know you can get away, run like hell, get somewhere safe, get the help that you need, and avoid this person. Again, these attacks are very common. They can happen very quickly. And again, if it's a blitz attack where you don't see it coming and it happens fast, you may not have as great of a chance to react, and it may be one where you're already in the car, and that's when you actually have the time to fight back. So just remember, this stuff is as difficult as you can make it for the person to control you, and as hard as it is for them to hold you down, it's going to be a lot easier for you to successfully get out. If you just kind of roll over and let the person throw you in, then you're not going to have a chance in hell to get out of these situations. So remember, when your life is in danger, fight as hard as you can, and do not give up until you know that you are safe. We'll catch you next time.